such a bright star in the dark space.
So I told you guys in our last video that I didn't have a junk room normally, and here I am in another one. This is the office and my recording studio. So this is all the stuff from the office in our last house and all of my recording stuff. So really everything has just been tossed in here. I also have the girls' art supplies in here because if you guys have been around, you know that was in the office in our old room. And then I have some of my husband's artwork and stuff like that there. So this room is a complete disaster, but I really honestly don't think it's gonna take super long to get it cleaned out. This is some stuff from the other junk room that still doesn't have a home because it doesn't fit in the laundry quite well, but that's where I want it to go. So gotta figure out where this stuff is gonna go, and I'm gonna go ahead and ruin the magic of my other channel. Just kidding. But this is the let's see if I can zoom. Actually I can't zoom out anymore. I have to back up. This is not a huge room, so it's a little hard to get it on camera, but this is my setup. Oh, falling over here. This is my setup, and as you can see, it's a hot mess right now, but this is my setup for the History and Hearsay podcast. And my goal is that I want to be able to take this room and just leave these two lights and my camera and all this set up how it needs to be for my videos. But anytime I have guests coming in, I can't do that because my sister is staying with us in that second room you saw me clean out. So anyway, long story short, I'm gonna have to take down all this equipment today since I do have guests coming this weekend. I told you guys previously we're going on a camping trip. So I got a little rambly here, but basically what I was saying is that the friends I told you guys in my last video we were going camping with, we were gonna meet them at the camping site, which is about 2 hours from our house, but some things changed in their plans and they need to come up the night before. And so instead of getting a hotel room, they're going to just come to our house, and then we're going to drive out to the campsite later on the next day. And so that'll work out better for them. And they're going to be here the day after my sister. And since my sister is in the other guest room, I need this to be a guest room for them, and they're going to be here with their 3 kids. So I needed to get this taken care of, even though I'm not going to have time to organize it how I want. This is just going to be a decluttering session today. And it did take me a couple of hours to get this done. And I'm going to come back and organize this on another day. So I kind of like to give you guys my tips that I've discovered over my years of owning homes and decluttering as I go along. And so I know I always tell you guys that I like to take one box at a time, and a lot of times I will take the box out of the space and go through it and then come back, and it always just kind of depends on my vision for the space, how overwhelmed I feel, what I do. So the last room I decluttered, I had taken everything out of that room because my husband needed to put a fan in there, so I needed the room to be empty for him to work. On that day, I was a lot overwhelmed, I guess I should say, and that was just the way I had to do it. So on this day, I knew I didn't want to pull everything out of here, but it was too cluttered to get anything done. So I didn't want to take individual boxes out, but I could not even move in this room. So what I did was I took any big items and I either put the items in the other space, or like this office chair, it just needed to be out of the room, but I knew it was going to be coming back in. I just took it and put it in the hallway just to give me a more space to work around. So I would definitely encourage you guys just to kind of experiment with what works best for you when you are decluttering spaces. Are you someone who likes to spread everything out? Do you like to take one box out of the room at a time? All these different tips that I share with you guys, I just wanted to encourage you to experiment for yourself, because sometimes you'll have advice that you hear very commonly given by, quote unquote, everyone. And it ends up not working for you. So obviously always take, advice with a grain of salt. But I think experimenting works really well. I'm someone who in the past would just do things a certain way because that's how I thought it was supposed to be. And I didn't really experiment. And the older I've gotten, the more I've learned to experiment, and how much of a difference that really makes. Kind of like the laundry thing. Like, so many people nowadays will tell you, do a load of laundry every day. But then you have some people who are like, I do all of my laundry on 1 or 2 days, and that works really well for me. Now, I personally love the load of laundry a day method, but I've been, watching some people recently that are like, I feel less overwhelmed whenever I can just have 2 days that I do it. So it really just depends on what works in your lifestyle, how you prefer to do things. And sometimes you like the concept of something, but you can never stick to it. And for me, that is a sign that you should be doing something different. And these videos are just meant to help inspire and kind of help you guys to come up with ideas. That's what I watch a lot of other people that inspire me, and I get new ideas from them. Some of them I love. I'm like, why didn't I think of this sooner? And then some things I'm like, no, that's not for me. So take what you can and leave the rest. And slowly over time, you will build your own repertoire of things that you like to do in your home.
Finally home. I've been gone for too long. It is true.
Last week actually brought in quite a few new subscribers. So if you're from that video, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I kind of took a little break from this channel, but now I'm back, and I have a lot of other different types of videos that I want to sprinkle in, but life has been crazy. But I did want to talk about some of my summer plans, and so I'm curious to know what you guys are doing this summer. We actually, like I said, have the camping trip, obviously, that I've been talking about this entire video. We're going to be going to the beach every year and go with some friends of ours to the beach. They have kids, they have girls, basically the exact same age as our girls, and it's always such a fun time. But I also am really planning on working on a new schedule and chore charts and stuff with my girls this summer. Last year was our first real school year. Alexa, she was in her first year of legit school, which it was just kindergarten, but regular schedule and all of that. But she had a pretty relaxed schedule. It was just a 9 to 2, so a 5-hour school day, which was really nice. We really enjoyed that. And then Kinsey, my younger daughter, she was 3 at the time, going to preschool only 2 days a week for 5 hours a day. So we had a pretty lax schedule. And even then, I noticed how fast time went when we had that daily commitment of school. And I realized how difficult, or much more difficult, it was to get my girls into a routine in the middle of the school year. So this summer, I'm going to have a heavy focus on making certain that all of the routines and schedules I want to put in place and the things I want to start teaching my daughters, that I really start with those this summer. So I haven't been good at getting them to learn how to pour their own drinks, and it's always an issue because our gallon jugs are real heavy or whatever it may be. So I'm just working on systems to be able to try to help them to be more self-reliant and also have daily chores that we consistently do. They tidy their room and stuff, but I have them randomly help with laundry and stuff like that. But I'm going to start having them do things like make sure they're bringing their dishes to the counter, wiping off the table, helping to sweep the floors after meals, and all these different things. So that is something I'm really working on. So I'm curious what you guys are doing this summer for fun, summer plans, but also what are you working on with your kids this summer? Dad, I know a lot of people's summer is different and crazy, and so maybe that doesn't always seem like the best time to implement new systems, but my girls are going to have a much more rigorous schedule this year. Kinsey will be home with me because I didn't get her until Mother's Day out quick enough. They don't have a lot of options to where we move now, and so apparently they book up very soon because I tried a few months before the school year were over and they were already booked up for the next school year. So I'm going to do pre-K, K4, whatever you want to call it, with her at home this year. Alexa will be going to first grade at her new school, but she's going to have to be there at 7:50 in the morning, and so it's going to be our mornings are going to be way less laid back, and so I'm kind of just trying to make sure I have us set up with good systems in place. Okay, so since I have friends coming this weekend, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to take out of here. I might take the printer and the paper, both of the printers and the computer, and stick all of that in my office, just because our friends who are coming have 3 kids, and so we're going to need to put multiple air mattresses in this room. I don't know. I think I'm going to get everything else out first and then see if I think that the printers are going to be in their way. I probably will at least take the iMac out of here and put it in my closet for the time being, but we'll see what I decide about the printers, because I'm trying to decide. I may be able to just push one of the printers over here in the corner with the file cabinet, and then that way it'll be set up like the office and it'll be there, and then I can just get everything else out. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm kind of trying to think about what I want to do, so it's making it go a little slower, but it does feel good now that I have some empty space. I have some things out of here, some things in the closet. My original plan, I was kind of putting this off because I was waiting until I could declutter and organize on the same day, but since I have these friends unexpectedly coming into town this weekend, I just have to declutter today because there's other things I need to get done. They're coming in 2 days, and there's other things I need to get done other than just this room. So my sister's coming, and then they'll be here the next day. So anyway, yeah, just gonna do the declutter today, and then I'll come back and organize the girls' art supplies and the office stuff a little at a time. I may or may not take you guys along with me when I do that, so not 100% sure what I'm gonna do there yet. But yeah, I think that's what I feel good about today, is just getting it decluttered, getting like at least a temporary home for everything in here instead of having it just all over the floor, and have this room open to be able to put the air mattresses in here, and then come back and organize and set it up once I'm able to like put things out in the room. So I may go ahead and put the girls' art supplies and stuff in these little plastic bins, drawers that had their clothes in. I was thinking about putting my office supplies over there, and in the white one, and then the pink one taking their art supplies. So I may go ahead and do that, and we'll just see where we're at and go from there. So a lot of the stuff in these clear bins is like camera supplies and equipment that I am currently using, and I typically like to leave out because I use it every single week, you know, usually multiple times a week. And so I didn't want to put all of these items back in their individual boxes, even though I have kept those, because I know I'll just be pulling those out after this weekend. So what I did was I kind of just tried to keep the cords wrapped up somewhat neatly, and then just put all of those items back into this bin, and then I stacked the empty boxes in the closet. Obviously that's not the most efficient and best way to do it, but because I know I'm going to be pulling all of this out next week in like a few days, I hate to go through and really waste the time it takes to repackage everything and then take it back out later. So this is kind of just a good enough is good enough kind of situation this week.
Who am I that the maker of heaven wouldn't love me and know me by name? In a world where I feel like a stranger, his love came and found me the same. In each breath that I breathe, when I wake or I sleep, everything I need is found in you. All in you, everything I need is found in you. Found in you, Jesus. what is love that the God of the heavens would stoop down to love me with grace? In the midst of my pride and rebellion, his love wouldn't give up the chase. In each breath that I breathe, when I wake or I sleep, everything I need is found in you. All in you. Everything I need is found in you.
So being a homemaker, stay-at-home mom, I'm always on the hunt to find systems and ways and things to do to just be happier, which is why I call you guys happy homemakers, because I think we're all working to cultivate more happiness in what we do. And I found this quote I wanted to share with you guys. It says, "I have found that there is a romance in housework and charm in it, and whimsy and humor without end. I have found that the housewife works hard, of course, but likes it. Most people who amount to anything do hard work. At whatever their job happens to be, the housewife's job is homemaking, and she is, in fact, making the best of it. Making the best of it by bringing patience and loving care to her work, sympathy and understanding to her family, making the best of it by seeing all the fun in the days, incidents, and human relationships. The housewife realizes that homemaking is an investment in happiness. It pays everyone enormous dividends. There are huge compensations for the actual labor involved. There are unhappy housewives, of course, but there are unhappy stenographers and editresses. I don't know if this was an old quote. Editresses, I guess editors, and concert singers. The housewife whose songs I sing as I go about my work is the one who likes her job." And this is a quote by Marjorie Kahn Rawlings, and I kind of wonder if maybe she's from the 50s because of some of the ways that she put things. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I always knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. From the time I was a little girl, I kind of tried to come up with a career idea, like what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I knew that ultimately I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom one day. I was hoping to find some type of career before that or something to continue to do once my kids were older. But I always knew that when I had children, I did want to stay home with them and be able to raise them the way that my mom did for me and my siblings. And when I became a stay-at-home mom, I was actually surprised by how hard it felt and how unsatisfying it felt and how isolating it felt and all the negative things that most first-time stay-at-home moms experience. I didn't expect. Part of the reason it was so isolating for me is because I also moved across the country during that time. I know that where I lived before, I had a lot of friends that were stay-at-home moms, and so if I'd have had that community, I probably would have had a much more positive experience. But I have learned a lot of different things through that. Obviously, I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but just wanted to share one thought with you guys, and that was I recently started to think of stay-at-home mom life as an actual job, or being a homemaker as an actual job. And in the past 10 years before I became a mom, I really excelled at any job I did. I really took a lot of pride in my job. I was very organized at work, and I was not a great homemaker when I came home because a lot of times I worked a lot of hours and I would just neglect my house. So when I worked, I wasn't that great of a homemaker. When it came to my job, I really worked hard to excel at it. And so now I've kind of started to think, if I think of homemaking as a job and I work to get better at these things, instead of just being discouraged that I'm not naturally super organized, I'm not naturally a super clean person, I'm not naturally inclined toward a lot of things that, I don't know what it is, but I guess if you feel called to be a mother and to be a stay-at-home mother, I think that sometimes you may have, or at least I did, this feeling that everything should come naturally, and it doesn't always come naturally. You have to learn their skills, and I've just recently started to listen to a lot of stay-at-home moms who really think of homemaking as a skill, learning to cook better, learning to, keep your schedule better and manage your time better and all of that. So anyway, I kind of lost my thought. My kids were running in and out of here, and I have a lot going on today. So I hope that made some sense to you guys, but I just wanted to share that with you. Just a mindset shift. What if you're struggling with anything in motherhood right now? What if you thought of it as a job? If you work outside the home, maybe it's a second job situation. And obviously, I'm not saying job in a negative connotation, but just job in the fact that, would you be fired, or like would you hire yourself if you were the boss and you hired yourself for a homemaking position? You know, some of that can be convicting sometimes, but also it can kind of put into perspective of like, okay, I've never done this job before, so it's going to take time to learn. And anyway, hopefully that's helpful to you guys. That's just kind of a little bit of a nugget there to chew on.
I don't know where she came from. Kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night at hers and bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Now I really get what the love songs are talking about, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. There's something about the way she laughs and the way she always dances when she thinks nobody sees. When she's gonna miss her so, I tell her, baby, please don't go. I think you should stay with me. And I really get what the love songs are talking about. Oh, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love.
All right, the children have need of my attention now. So this is where we're leaving it. Nowhere near done being organized, but I'm really hoping this is enough room for them to be able to comfortably sleep on the air mattresses. I will definitely go through and set them all up before they come in and make sure that none of this is in their way. And hopefully this will be good. So I'm gonna go through and vacuum in here in just a minute. But other than that, this room is done. So just to show you guys what it looks like from the other way. These two girlies are trying to get into everything. So it's time for me to call it quits on this video today. I'm gonna enjoy a second cup of coffee and let them get some stuff to color. We're not gonna do the painting today, which is what she wants to do, but thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.